Morning, everybody, or good afternoon. Welcome to we're up to day 23. The reason I got confused is because for the next few days, starting this past Shabbos, we're doing the same mitzvah, which is the mitzvah of prayer. So, what's the actual mitzvah? To serve God. So a few psukim, it says it many, many times in the Torah. You should serve your God. And him you shall serve. And him you shall serve in singular. And you should serve him, etc., etc. So tefillah, davening, prayer, whatever language you want to use, is the mitzvah of avoda. It requires work. What does that mean? What does work mean? Comes from the word eved, which is servant. Hard work, effort, strength, backbreaking. So why is tefillah, why is prayer considered work? Labor of the heart. You really have to, as anyone knows who has tried prayer, even if we love it, and it requires a lot. But it's like any relationship, right? It requires a lot. What's the idea? I once heard a beautiful line which really resonated. Tefillah, prayer, is us connecting to God. Sorry, am I saying it right? In contrast to learning, you know what? I'm gonna have to look that up. But anyway, the idea of tefillah is basically, it's like being intimate. That's why Jews chuckle when they learn and when they daven, because we're being intimate with God. So this requires a lot of effort and concentration, and it might be with a lot of love, right? It's also avodah shebelev. It's the heart. We're using our heart. It's coming out of love and excitement, but there is effort. And it's interesting to talk about this more of why the term avoda is used for prayer. So the Maimonides explains that because not everybody holds it's an actual mitzvah. One of the count, of course, it's a mitzvah, but it's one of the count of the 613, is that even though it says it's general, right? There's an idea in general to serve Hashem. How? With all the mitzvahs. You know, anything we do for Hashem is serving him, especially when it's hard. That's like serving, doing avoda. But Rambam says that this specifically talks about the mitzvah of tefillah, of prayer. And where does the word tefillah come from? Let's talk about that for a second. Tefillah is the Hebrew word for prayer, and it comes from the root word of judgment. And essentially, when we're praying to Hashem, we're saying, judge us. You know what's best for us. You do what's best for us. However, judge us mercifully. You know, we're just a clump of clay. We're not so sophisticated. We don't always know what the right thing to do is. So do what's best for us. We trust you, but please have mercy, have kindness. Think of what's best for us. And one other point to mention today is, you know, it just says in general, v'osotavo, let's say, serve Hashem. So maybe the mitzvah of tefillah, prayer, is more more specific, like do it once a month, do it once a week, do it on Shabbos. But because it generally says it doesn't give a timeline, doesn't give specific, then we know it's on a regular basis. What does a regular basis mean? Daily. As we know, the mitzvah of tefillah, it's been set up that there's 3 times. So the Gemara says both. Number one, that it's based on the prayer of Avraham, the prayer of Yitzchak, and the prayer of Yaakov, our 3 fathers. Avraham prayed in the morning, Shacharis. Yitzchak prayed in the afternoon, Mincha. And Yaakov prayed in the evening, Ma'ariv. It also says that it's based on the times that we brought up daily sacrifice in the temple. There was the Tamid of the morning, there was the Tamid of the afternoon, and then I think there's something called leftovers that's from the evening. So which one is it? Are we basing it on the prayer from way back when, before we even got the Torah, or from the times of the Beis Hamikdash, which is hundreds of years after we came into Israel? And the answer is both, of course. So we know for a fact, and there's many proofs that prayer was something Jews always did, even before it was instituted that we should pray 3 times a day by the sages, which was after the first Beis Hamikdash, something they did always. But it's almost like our prayer accomplishes 2 things. Our prayer accomplishes the idea that we're just doing what Jews always did, which is pray regularly. And it's also serving because we needed something to replace or to do instead of the sacrifices that we had in the temple. So it's also covering that. It's covering both of these bases. And of course, in our prayer, the ultimate prayer that we always ask for, and the Shemona Esrei itself, we ask for it multiple times, is we want the real version. Give us back the prayers where we're doing the sacrifices, we're doing it in the temple, we're doing it with Hashem clearly in front of us, of course, with the coming of Mashiach. So the next few days, we'll continue to talk about prayer, and I hope this inspires you to pray. But of course, at the very least, just to learn the idea that this is one of the mitzvos of the Torah. Have an amazing, amazing day. Bye.